Hi bowl bakers! So the weather is starting to heat up here in Los Angeles, so we are going to start making frozen desserts. I have tons of stuff planned for the summer, but I thought we would kick things off with a homemade sorbet that you do not need an ice cream machine to make. So let's get started. So to make sorbet my way is really straightforward. All you need is some fruit and condensed milk. I'm going to talk you through the process as I go, just so you can understand why I'm doing what I do. So to make my sorbet, I'm going to use my food processor, but you can also use a blender. That works really well too. The first sorbet that we are making is a lovely raspberry flavor. So the main ingredient for our sorbet is frozen fruit. So I have some lovely raspberries here. And the reason that I have them frozen is because it gives you a really lovely thick texture to your sorbet, which is actually what the ice cream machine would do. So we're replacing that by using frozen berries. You can use fresh fruit to make the sorbet, but the mixture just doesn't get as thick, but it will work. Our next very important ingredient is sweetened condensed milk. Now I like to use fat-free version because I find it a little less sweet. So the reason that I use condensed milk is that it's very important when you're making frozen desserts that your sugar is liquid. And by doing that, it means that it will stop ice crystals from forming and also makes your sorbet or your frozen yogurt or whatever very scoopable. Now I understand that in some countries you can't buy condensed milk, but you can make it, and you can also make a dairy-free condensed milk, and I have both of those recipes on my website. So on with our lid. So far it's been pretty easy. And now all we're going to do is blend it for around 3 to 4 minutes. You just want to get it really nice and smooth. While it's blending, you will notice that it clumps up a bit, but just let it keep going and it will eventually smooth out. Once you can see your sorbet is smooth, then take off the lid and just look at that. Beautiful homemade sorbet. Look how smooth it is and the beautiful vibrant color as well. Oh, it's yummy. There's a little bit of kind of sharpness from the raspberries, but it's lovely and sweet as well. So we're going to get this guy straight into our freezable container. For a lot of my frozen desserts, I love to use these containers. They're really easy, and the link can be found on my website, biggerbolderbaking.com, along with the recipes for the sorbet. Fill your container to the top with your frozen raspberry sorbet. And I like to top it off with some fresh raspberries to make it look extra pretty. To finish our sorbet off, I have these lovely homemade labels, and you can find the template for this on my website also. And that's it. Could not be simpler homemade sorbet. Now it'll take around 4 hours to freeze, but it will last in your freezer for up to 6 weeks. When you think of sorbet, you think of lovely fresh flavors, and that's exactly what our next sorbet is. It's cantaloupe and mint. Into our food processor goes our frozen cantaloupe. Now I actually chopped and froze this cantaloupe myself, but you can always buy some in the stores. Onto our cantaloupe goes our condensed milk. As you notice, the sorbets are made of just fruit and condensed milk, so feel free to use any fruit that you have yourself or any that you prefer. Into our cantaloupe, we're going to add in our fresh mint. Just scatter it all around there. Now just on with our lid and then blend until it's lovely and smooth. I love to use frozen fruit in my desserts because in some countries you can't get all fruit, but usually you can buy it frozen, which really helps. Okay, it's looking nice and smooth, so I'm going to stop it. And look at that. It's a really beautiful color. I can smell the mint coming out of the machine. It's really smooth, lovely and thick. Oh, yummy. It's a little bit creamy. It tastes really fresh. The mint complements it really well. You can use other melons too. I don't recommend watermelon because it's very liquidy, but this works really well. Once your sorbet is blended, get it straight into your container. Add a sprig of mint on top of your sorbet for some extra color, and then finish it off with your lovely homemade label. Just look at what a beautiful color that sorbet is, and it tastes fantastic. So we're going to pop this guy in the freezer and get started on our next flavor. Personally, I absolutely adore lime in my desserts. It is such a refreshing flavor. That's why our next sorbet is strawberry and lime. Just like before, into our food processor, we're going to add in our frozen strawberries. Then we're going to add in some zest of a fresh lime. I can't get enough of lime, and usually you would pair it with tropical fruits, which works really well. But if you've ever had strawberries and lime, it is just out of this world. And then also, another little tip, bananas and lime. Oh man. Okie dokie, into this we are going to add in our condensed milk. On with our lid, and then you know the drill. Blend it up until it's nice and smooth. I am really excited for the big and bold desserts that I've got planned for the summer. So to make sure you don't miss out on any, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Looking good. Beautiful. Give it a little taste as always. Oh, it's delicious. Lime has such a unique flavor. I just adore it. Fill your container with your sorbet all the way to the top. This is going to make a fantastic treat on a hot day. I like to place a fresh strawberry on top. And then grate on some more lime zest for colour and flavour. I'm calling this fruity flavour Sublime Strawberry. Even just the smell of this sorbet is insane. But we can't stop here, we're going to move on to our next flavour. Our next sorbet flavour is a bit of a tropical double whammy. It is mango and passion fruit. Pop your frozen mango into your food processor. For your passion fruit, you can buy purees in store or you can use fresh like I'm going to do. I just wanted to show you what a beautiful fruit this is. And if you think it looks good, just imagine what it tastes like. If you are going to use fresh passion fruit, then just pass it through a sieve to remove any of those seeds. In with our condensed milk to add that lovely sweetness. Another sorbet ready, and then process until smooth. If you can't find passion fruit, you can always just have the mango by itself, or you can add in some lime zest. That would be delicious. Look what a gorgeous, vibrant yellow this sorbet is. Oh my gosh, it tastes delicious. These two flavors complement each other so well. Scoop your sorbet straight into your container. As a little added touch, I like to add some fresh passion fruit on top. Aptly named Passion for Mango, because that's exactly what I have. We're going to pop this guy in the freezer and get on to our next decadent flavor. Our next sorbet flavor is a little bit different because it is less fruity and more rich and decadent. It is chocolate and banana. Add your frozen bananas into your food processor. I actually slice and freeze my bananas myself because I always like to have some in the freezer so I can add them into my recipes. Next, we're going to add in our unsweetened cocoa powder. The better quality cocoa you use, the better, always. In with our condensed milk. That's a gorgeous sight. Condensed milk flowing down the cocoa powder. I don't know at what point we started to realize that bananas and chocolate work really well together, but I'm glad we did. Ooh, this looks delicious. Look at how velvety smooth that is. When you blend up bananas, they get really thick and kind of silky. That's why it works really well for sorbet. Fill your container with your rich and decadent sorbet. I like to place some fresh banana on top and sprinkle over some chocolate flakes. This sorbet is called Bananas for Chocolate because who is not bananas for chocolate? As soon as your sorbet is frozen, you can start to scoop. If your sorbet is hard to scoop straight from the freezer, then let it sit at room temperature for 5 minutes. This is delicious. It's kind of hard to believe that just a few ingredients blended together can make such a fantastic dessert. No matter which one you make, there is a flavor here for everyone. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite sorbet flavor was. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back here next Thursday for more bigger, bolder baking. Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy.